Hey, this is Keith. How are you doing? Gonna do a great, awesome chai yogi tea recipe in relation to staying warm as a raw foodist in the winter. First, I've done some research, and I said earlier about not taking ginger because it's drying, and that's in my case. And then when I was doing some research on acupuncture sites and Chinese medicine, ginger is actually one of the most warming things that there is in terms of, like, yes, cayenne pepper will get you warmer quicker in terms of like kind of a instant rush, but ginger is more sustained. So in my case, I decided like I really just should drink a lot more water, because that's where I fall short of the mark, is just not drinking enough, period. That's really, I do have drying issues in my own constitution, but I mean the bottom line is I just need to drink more water. So ginger is very warming. So what we're going to do is make a chai tea. But I'm going to talk about some other things that I've learned, and that's about just dressing warmer. Like most Americans, we're used to having this like central heating and having our houses at 70 and all that kind of stuff. I live in the mountains, and I'm also very trying to move away from the way people do things and the ducts and stuff that are in central heating. I have central heating in my house. I don't use it. I only use fire. So, and that's just kind of like my own, whatever you want to say it, sustainability, being off the grid a little bit more, using wood. I kind of like that. I like doing it, having the sort of ebb and flow of having the night be colder and warmer during the day. Like I find that I sleep a lot deeper with just letting the temperature fall off at night. So anyways, things to keep in mind when trying to stay warmer, even if you are living in central heating, is dress warm. The points that make you cold are your wrists, your ankles, and your neck. So I wear these all the time. You'll see me in these. I wear them around the house all the time. They're kind of like these gloves, and they keep your wrist cold. And then the other thing is, I have a friend who does a lot of knitting. This is a thing called a cowl. Basically just goes like this. A chai recipe, what's in chai is ginger, cardamom, a black tea, but in this case I'm going to use gynostemma tea to make it healthier, a sweetener, usually sugar in the Hindu India sense, and milk. And I'm going to use coconut butter to in the Vitamix to make it more creamy. So this is what we do, is we get our, and the cardamom and the ginger, they need to be boiled a little bit longer than the gynostemma. So what we're going to do is we're going to decoct. That's what basically working with hard roots and hard seeds and barks. They need to be decocted. The gynostemma is just leaves and stems. It needs to be an infusion, so it only needs to sit around for about 3 or 4 minutes in hot tea. So what we're going to do is we're going to cook up the cardamom and the ginger with the spring water in the pot, and you don't have to use, I don't use regular cooking vessels. I only use, I mean, other than this thing, I'm basically going to use this thing. So you could just use a regular pan. So here we go. Grate the ginger. And you, for warming, you want to use as much ginger as you can stand. And this is a very present thing. And like I said, I found out that ginger is very drying, and so I was thinking I'm not going to use ginger, but it's also the most warming herb. So we're going to put that in the pot, the ginger. Okay, and then we're going to use some cardamom, and use the sort of mortar and pestle with the cardamoms, because they kind of have this this hard thing. You could also, if you wanted, you could ground these up. I'm going to go for a little bit of a strong taste. And again, you can find almost any recipe on YouTube or on the internet. So empower yourself by doing your own research and find the recipe, and then just substitute the things that are not so healthy. And in the case of a regular traditional Indian chai tea, the things that are not healthy in my mind is the sugar, and I don't necessarily want the black tea, and I don't want the milk, and I'm not going to use a nut milk in there either. The reason I want to use coconut butter is because you can still stay raw, because it's got a high, what I'll call flash point, where it's still raw. And I'm not going to use a nut milk because I don't see, nuts are expensive. I don't see any reason to use them for that. So okay, in goes the chai, fresh spring water. And get that up to a boil, and then just kind of let it go for probably about 10 minutes. Yeah, so anyways, the chai tea. So if you wanted to, you could take this basic same recipe and that I've done so far. Like I said, basically a chai tea is ginger, cardamom, black tea, milk, and sweetener. That's a chai. Okay, for a yogi tea, you want to use more, and this is probably better for warming. You want to add clove, cinnamon, and black pepper to this same recipe, which will make it a yogi tea. So I'll go ahead and turn this into a yogi tea. What I did before was just the ginger and the cardamom. That's a chai. And of course, for those of us who are, or people who are used to going to a coffee bar or whatever, they add things like vanilla, and just be creative. Just realize that the thing that makes a chai is that. So we're going to put a little clove in there. Maybe about half a teaspoon. Clove is one that you got to kind of watch. A bit of black pepper. All these, everything I'm doing in here is all warming. Tiny bit of black pepper. Quarter teaspoon, I guess. All of these are these two, clove and the cardamom, are ones you got to watch out for. So that's why I kind of measured those, because that'll kick it way out of balance. And then some cinnamon in there. Good heaping quarter. A little more. Yeah, so anyways, if you're going to get into teas, one of the things you want to get is this large collection of strainers. I like this one because it fits right over the top of the Vitamix. This one is really cool if you want to like take some gynostemma and put it in there, and then put it in a cold jar if you're in a hurry, because gynostemma doesn't really need heat, or it doesn't need heat at all. So anyways, and I like this one here because it just fits right over the top of a mason jar. So anyways, the tea's been going for a while. Kind of cooled down a little bit, although it's still too hot to run the Vitamix. So going to add some gynostemma tea, and I'm using this instead of the black tea that's usually in chai tea. And this is a really good tea to do with warming, because gynostemma helps with chi, which I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people watching this video that are not my usual subscribers. So qi is one of the three treasures in Chinese medicine, Jing, Qi, and Shen. Qi is the energy flowing through our body, and in taking something that's warming like this with adding gynostemma, which is a qi tonic, it's going to help move that heat throughout your body. So I'm going to use this. It's got a nice fine screen. Pot is really hot, so I'm going to use my gloves here. And so the gynostemma tea only needs to sit for about 3 minutes, because it is leaves and stems. So it only needs to be infused, unlike what I put in this pot, which was the ginger and the cardamom and the black pepper and the cinnamon and the clove. So, and another thing you could do that I didn't do is I did this with fresh water, is you could use my South American teas, which would help with, overall, with this being a warming tea, would help as being a winter tea. This is a cat's claw, Podarco, Muera Puma, Katuba. Use that instead of water, but I used water as you saw at the beginning of this video. Yeah, so anyways, so the gynostemma is, just let it sit for 3 or 4 minutes. And I'm going to do this all in the blender. I don't like to put boiling hot water into the Vitamix at all because of the, I'm sure it's alright, but I just don't like to take any chances. I'm sure Vitamix made this a really good durable plastic, but, so I put a little cool water in there when it's this hot. It's probably like 190 degrees. And so I just put a little cool water in there so that the tea is actually more warm. So use my nice big strainer that fits over the top to strain out the gynostemma leaves. So I'm going to put a little coconut butter in there in place of the milk. Make it nice and rich and creamy. The more the better. Coconut butter is really good for you, contrary to old belief systems. And if you weren't on the body ecology diet, you could use honey in this, but I am, so I'm on the body ecology diet, so I'm going to use stevia, about maybe 10-20 drops. And if you weren't vegan, you could put like a little bit of, and definitely after it cooled down a little bit, you could put some milk in there. Although I am trying to keep this vegan and I'm trying to keep it healthy, and I'm not using a nut milk either, so on the blender it goes. And so if you wanted to, you could put a couple caps of reishi or some chaga in there. I was kind of trying to keep this kind of straight up, because I realize a lot of people are probably going to watch this video other than my subscribers, because it has a, the title is going to be awesome chai yogi tea recipe. And that's really spicy, with lots of warming herbs, and very sweet. Tastes really good. Anyways, this is Keith, the Live Rockstar, saying got a few more videos coming up this year. Tomorrow is the last day of the year. Hopefully I get them up, especially my best of 2010 video. This is Keith signing out. Peace.